Hello everyone and welcome to Nervous Nessie. Today I am going back to Universal Studios. I am going to try and focus more on, I guess, family friendly. Well, all of the rides are family friendly, but more like kid friendly rides. That way you can see a little bit of everything for the park between my first video where I did more of the adult rides like the roller coasters and stuff like that, versus the kids rides. I believe this includes like the Minions, life about pets, something life with pets, I think. I don't know. We'll find out while we're in there. And then of course I will go through and show you some other stuff as well. I'm going to try and eat at a different location this time for my lunch and dinner. That way I can show you some more of the food options in the park. But it's time to head into the park. When you first head into the park, on the left-hand side is the more kid-friendly section. This is for kids that are under the age of 12. Over on this side, you have, turns out it's The Secret Life of Pets. You also have Despicable Me, where the Minions are. And then you also have this area straight ahead called Super Silly Funland. Now, Super Silly Funland is actually a small water park. I would say it's more for really little kids, probably 10 and younger. Now, at this time, when I decided to go to Universal Studios, they actually had it closed. That is why the purple fence is running down through there. But they had it closed due to repairs. And so you couldn't go in there, which if you had little kids would be pretty disappointing. Across from Super Silly Funland is going to be a small arcade area. So if you know your children and you think they're gonna want to play games and you don't want to spend the money, you might want to keep them away from that area because those games can be pretty pricey. So I just rode the Despicable Me ride. I had never rode it before. Last time when I came here, I did a lot more of the adult rides, and then the times I've come before, the ride has been broken down. So I wanted to ride the ride this time. The line, it was about 30-40 minute wait in line. The queue is kind of boring. Good thing it is a short line. The queue's kind of boring. There's TVs that has videos playing, but other than that, there's really nothing to look at. The way that this ride works is you go in batches. I was looking probably about 50-75 people per batch. You go into one room and you get sorted into different lines, and then you go to a second room. There's videos in each of the rooms to kind of tell the story of you becoming a Minion. After you go through the second room, then you end up in a third room, which is a big auditorium kind of thing. It has little modular rides with 2 seats, one in the front, one in the back. Each one of the seats will hold about 4 people. And then there's a huge screen. Each one of the little modular rides, it actually moves in place and goes along with whatever's being put on the screen. It was a really cute ride. It's a little jarring. So definitely if you have neck or back problems, may not be the best ride for you. But it was a good ride. I would say that if you do have kids and you're going to be doing the ride, if the kids get really aggravated from boredom really fast, like they're bored and then they start just acting out, maybe do this ride first just to get it out of the way before they get tired from the rest of the day. What else? Oh, if you have loose items, or if you have like a big bag or a backpack, you can't have them on this ride. However, when you go into the final room where the ride is, you set them on the ground next to you outside of the modular ride itself. So your stuff is protected. You're right there with it. You don't have to worry about somebody taking off with it. So I was able to ride with my crossbody bag on, and I had Hedwig on my shoulder. I did have a hand on him to make sure he didn't go flying in the ride. But yeah, I mean, it's a cute ride. I would definitely say if you have kids, you've gotta do that ride. It's really good for kids. Where I am standing, I wanted to shoot this video here to capture this. Behind me, they are doing construction, and this is going to be the future Fast and Furious, the Fast and the Furious roller coaster. There's a wall right here. It's an 80-foot drop straight down, and the roller coaster goes all the way down and off that way. So yeah, coming soon is the Fast and the Furious roller coaster. Can't wait for that. A similar ride where you have an outside queue and then you go inside as a group for the ride is the Kung Fu Panda ride. It used to be the Shrek ride, which is why Donkey is outside the ride. The next ride that I rode was The Secret Life of Pets. Now, this line, this queue, is actually indoors. It's in the building, and it's pretty long. It's winding through different rooms and different scenes, but the kids will not be bored at all. There's animated animals from the movie and things that they can interact with. Sometimes the animals will talk, which is entertaining. The kids love having their pictures taken with their favorite animals from the movie. And this ride is on a single track. It's not a very fast ride like a roller coaster, but it tells a story and you go through and see all the different characters from the movie. And I highly recommend this ride. It was time for lunch, so I decided to eat at nearby Cocina Mexicana. They have 5 different options to choose from. I believe it's tacos, burritos, nachos, something else. And they have several different meat and non-meat options to choose from for each one of those 5 options. After you place your order, you pick up your food on the side of the building at a window. Make sure you hold on to your receipt and know what your order number is. That way it makes it easier to pick up your food. There is nearby seating to sit and eat, but it's first come, first serve. So if you're with a group or your family, you might want to have someone secure some tables first before ordering. Otherwise, you might have to just sit on the ground somewhere. I ended up getting the nachos. I thought it was okay, but the salsa could have been better. And I ended up getting the refillable cup. It does cost more, but by buying the refillable cup, I can refill it unlimited in the park, and I enjoy that better than spending a lot of money. There is no shortage of character meet and greets that you can do at the park and have your picture taken with them. This includes characters like Hello Kitty, as well as Mario, Luigi, Princess Peach, and even Toadstool in the Mario Land. There are pretty long lines to meet these characters, so you want to get to the line early, and the times for when the characters will come out are going to be posted. But the kids love this. Some other characters they can meet are Gru and the Minions. They can also meet Scooby-Doo and the gang, and they can also meet Megatron from Transformers. Megatron interacts with the people when you are taking your picture with them, as well as Bumblebee and Optimus Prime. Even if you're not having your picture taken with them, it's kind of entertaining to listen to what they say. And if you stick around at night, some of the classic Universal monsters like Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein will come out, so you can have your picture taken with them as well. Another kid-friendly ride is The Simpsons. I ended up not riding it because I find it to be a little jarring for me, but outside The Simpsons ride is another arcade. This one is a good bit bigger than the one near Silly Funland, but there's a lot of different games you can play, and there's a few more restaurants in this area as well. After a long day at the park, if you want to sit down and take a break, but you want to keep your kids entertained as well, then go to the Water World show. The show only shows at certain times during the day, and the times are posted. You want to get in line in plenty of time. I would say probably 15 minutes at least before the time of the show. They only let so many people in because there's only so much seating. But if you miss one show, you can always go to the next show because there's several times throughout the day. The show does tell a story, and it is very entertaining. If you have very little kids, they might find it a little scary, but I would say it's good for kids anywhere from 5 to 12 years old. So there are some changes from the last time that I came here to this time, and I wanted to tell you what they are. Number one, the obvious one. Last time I came here, they had the owls in the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, and now they have the Niffler. I had to get it. It's the same price as the owl, which is not cheap, but it's something that every time I come to Universal Studios I can wear and enjoy. Second thing I already touched on is that they are building the Fast and the Furious roller coaster. Now, at the time of me being here, it's partially finished. Don't know when it's going to be finished. They also have the Jurassic World ride shut down right now. A lot of people were disappointed about that. I could hear in lines, people were like, I can't believe they shut it down. They're remodeling it. They have all the water drained out. You can walk by and see. But yeah, they're doing an overhaul on it. Don't know why. Also I guess, I don't remember what it's called, Super Silly Funland. It's the water park area for little kids to play. All of that is shut down, and they're remodeling that. And I find it interesting they're remodeling the two water areas at the same time. Maybe they're putting in new plumbing, like new water lines or something, but yeah, that has changed. Another big change for me, because I do go to the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, is the bag area. So when you go to get onto either Flight of the Hippogriff or the Forbidden Journey, you can't have any bags or loose items. You have to put them in lockers or have somebody hold them for you. And it used to be that all of the lockers were at the front entrance of the Forbidden Journey. Like when you go through the castle entrance, it was on the right, and there were a bunch of lockers there, and you could just put your stuff in, everything was fine. They shut that down. That is no longer there. They put some merchandise there to fill up the space. And instead, they built a little alcove right outside the entrance as you're going toward the castle, and the lockers are there. There's two different sizes of lockers. There's the small and a medium, I guess you could say. The small is free. You have to scan your ticket, your park ticket, or if you have an annual pass, scan your annual pass, and that will open and close the locker, and it's free for the small. But for the medium lockers, it is $5, which kind of sucks, because if you do need to have a medium locker, then you have to pay every time that you go to use or you go to get onto the rides. And for me, I try to get onto those rides a couple of times a day when I'm here, because I'm obviously a Harry Potter fan. And then the medium lockers that they do have, there were people really struggling to get their backpacks in there. They were shoving them in there. And I was thinking, okay, I have to put my crossbody bag in there. I have to put these guys in there. And I was wanting to get the small locker. It did fit, my small bag, and then these guys fit, and also the souvenir cup bottle that I bought for lunch, that fit in there as well. But if you're thinking, well, I'll just get 2 small lockers, you're gonna need to have 2 tickets to be able to get them open. So if you're by yourself, just keep that in mind. You're gonna either have to pay and leave all your stuff in a locker until the end of the day, or pay every time, or just not ride the rides, and that really sucks. A couple of other things. So while I'm here, the ride times are kind of, I would say, abnormally long. Like obviously the newest thing is the Super Mario World, the Mario Kart ride. Right now, the wait time is 2 hours. Normally it's a lot less than that. And then all of the other rides are like that. They're like an hour per ride. Usually it's not that bad. You'll have different rides that are a lot less. Some of the smaller kids rides, they have less wait times, but even they have big wait times right now. Don't know what it is. Maybe it's because the annual pass holders have not been able to come to the park for a month or so because of the Halloween Horror Nights, and so everybody's using their passes today. And in fact, when I got to the parking garage and I went to park, or pay to park, there was a sign up that said some annual passes have blackout dates today, and I was really worried, but I had double checked that mine didn't have today blacked out, and luckily they said it was okay. They do check. So if you get to the park and you have an annual pass and you see that sign that says, oh, there's a blackout day today, you can actually, when you go to pay to park, you can have them scan your pass to double check. That way you don't pay for parking and then you're not allowed into the park. Of course, you could, if let's say you do get here and your pass is blacked out, you still have City Walk. There's a lot to see and, do up there. You can eat up there, shop, walk around, hang out, but you just don't get into the park. I really want to ride a couple more rides. I know it's kind of getting dark, but it's still early. So I'm hoping to ride a few more rides and get some more videos for you guys. Since it was getting late and I was near the Jurassic World ride, I decided to go ahead and get dinner, and I ended up eating at Jurassic Cafe. They have several items to choose from at the cafe, and it's kind of cafeteria style where you get a tray and you go around and tell them what you want to eat, and they place the items on your tray and then you pay.
There's a good amount of seating in the cafe. There's also a little bit of seating outside the cafe as well. I ended up getting the ribs and fries. I thought they were good. The sauce on the ribs could have been better, but for what you get with this food, the price was pretty good. So even if you don't get the ribs, the other prices for everything in the Jurassic Cafe seemed a lot better than Cocina Mexicana did at lunch.
Well, I am back in my car, and I did get to ride some more rides before I left the park. I actually am leaving the park. Now that I'm back at my car, it's 7:30. The park closes at 8. So it took me 30 minutes to walk out of the park and to my car after going in 2 or 3 stores in City Walk. But I was tired and decided to go ahead and head back. But yes, as you can see, there is a lot to see and do for families and little kids at Universal Studios. And if you have any questions about any of the rides or anything that you saw, feel free to leave those in the comments below, and I will get to those as soon as I can. And if you want to know when the next video comes out, then subscribe. But until then, bye!